Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my machine learning class. I am Mohammad Mushrikul Islam. Today I will try to give you a brief overview what machine actually learns in a neural network. So first of all, I'm asking you the question, what machine learns? Do you know anyone? And how a neural network works and why we need to learn something? Okay. So first of all, this is the neuron. It is the unit of our brain. This is the dendro terminal and the axon terminal. So basically the neurons are connected with each other. The dendron and the axon are connected to each other. So the neural network actually resembles the human brain. It is actually inspired from the human brain and how it works. So here this we can consider this the neuron and this node, we call this node. These nodes are connected to each other. This is the input node and this is the output node here. So this is a small neural network. We will try to understand what neural network from this. This is the input node and this is our input value x1, x2, x3 and this is our output node. This is a hidden layer. Okay, so the input is transformed to output using some kind of action. What is that action? The action here is a function. A function is used here to map the input to output, and for what we call this function an activation function actually. So what type of function we choose for activation? We choose the sigmoid function. We choose this function for different reason. Actually it is differentiable for infinite times, is bounded, it has real input values. There are several types of sigmoid function like logistic function or hyperbolic tangent function. So these are special function and we use this to trigger the output from a neural network. So basically what we are doing, we are multiplying the weight with the output of this node, weight W25 with the output with W35 with W45 here, and this is the output of these nodes are going to this node and the output of this node will go to this node. So basically they are connected and here we perform some mathematical calculations here. So in typical machine learning program, what we do, we try to optimize some input value, and this is our objective function, or what we try to optimize or try to establish some model, some function that can approximate that take the input of x1, x2, x3, x4 and try to give the output of the y, our target function or the objective function here. So actually, if you know the technique of approximating the function, approximate the value of y, then you know what actually machine learns. Machine actually learns some parameter to optimize our objective function. So we're saying that machine learns some parameter to optimize the objective function here. So in the case of machine learning, in the case of neural network, it actually learns the weight. So here the example is big. We'll try to understand with a simple example. Here the input is 0 0 and our objective is 0, 1 and 1 is 1. Many of you are familiar with this function. We'll try to establish a neural network where we can input this and got this output or approximate the output here. So here I've introduced another unit. This is called a bias unit. This is also a learnable unit. Okay, so basically we have assumed the weight here 20 and 20, and in neural network we try to learn this weight. So what if we have learned this weight, how this weight functions? Here we can see that our hypothesis or the output of this node is f of minus 30 plus 20 into our input of x1 and the input of x2. So now let's have a look. If this is the function, this is the graphical representation of our f of x, the sigmoid function. So if the value of x is above 5, the approximate value is tends to 1. Here 0.99, we can approximate this as 1. And here if the value is under 4 or 5, we can get the value, the limiting value 0 here. So here see, if x1 is 0 and x2 is 0, then if our hypothesis is f of minus 10, and f of minus 10 is actually approximately 0 here, see here. And if our input x1 is 1 and x2 is 1, our then the f of 10, then we'll get this as f of 10, and f of 10 is 1. So it's clear from our functions graph. So here, actually what we are doing, we're trying to approximate the function with build a neural network, and we have established some mathematical calculation, and this calculation is giving us some approximate value which is similar to our expected output. This is our expected output on 0 and approximate value is 0. Yes, we're doing the approximation here. See, this is our expected 0, expected 0, and expected 1, and expected 1. So if we learn the weight, if we learn the bias, we can actually approximate our objective function. And that's why we learn the weight. And what we're learning? We're learning the weight. Actually, weight is a parameter in a neural network. And obviously you know this function. This is the end, logical end function here. So I think that I have given you some intuition about what actually machine learns, and in neural network what we are trying to learn. Thank you very much. If any question, please ask.